Aloha friends, and thank you so much for watching this video. But I don't know if you are anything like me, but I'm consistently trying out new 50mm focal lengths, trying to find the best fit for me and my style of photography. I love the 50mm focal length, and although it's not my favorite, it is the one that I shoot with the most. If you've ever watched any of my videos, you know how much I adore 40mm. That focal length is just the best fit for me. But if I'm not reaching for that lens, I am definitely reaching for a 50. Now, when it comes to M-mount lenses, I've owned quite a few, trying to find the right combination of size, weight, and performance, and really enjoyment in shooting. Over the past few years, I've tried a lot of different lenses on my M6 and M240. And to be fair, they're all pretty good. I've tried the 40mm 1.4, the Voight 1.2, the Sumicron 50 f2, the Sumilux 1.4, and now the Zeiss 50 Sonnar 1.5. And as you can tell, there are a lot of prime lenses available for the M-mount system. You can find cheap ones or you can find expensive ones. There is a lot of subjectivity in the lenses that people like. But I wanted to give you my honest thoughts on the Zeiss Sonnar 50 1.5. Now, the most obvious observation is that this lens is fast, it's compact, and it's pretty small for a 50mm lens. Compared to some of the other options around the same focal length, the Zeiss 50 is shorter than both the Lux and the Sumicron, but it is wider than both of those lenses. I also really enjoy the small focusing tab that is built into the lens. One of the more significant issues that I've had with my version 3 Sumicron is that it does not have a focus tab. The one other thing that I really enjoy about the Zeiss lens is that the focus throw isn't long, it's actually fairly short. I can go from the closest focus point to infinity pretty quickly. The focus throw on the Sumicron is rather long, and when manually focusing swiftly, I prefer not to have to turn my lens extremely far to gain the closest focus point to the furthest focus point. And although it does not take much to focus this lens, it does have a minimum focus distance of 0.9 meters. I would prefer something focused a little bit closer. It's okay, but if you like close-up headshots like I do, then you will find yourself cropping in your images in post. Now, another slight drawback, and it is purely cosmetic, is that the Zeiss Sonnar lens looks a lot like the Voigtlander lenses. And I guess that is to be expected since Cosina manufactures both brands. It is not the end of the world, and it may not even matter to you, but this is more of just an FYI than something you should be seriously concerned about. Now, I know another thing that I do love about this lens is the click feel you get when you are changing aperture on the front of the lens. When I'm moving quickly, I know it is nice to know that I don't have to take the camera down from my eye when I'm adjusting my aperture to make sure that I am where I want to be when photographing with this lens or photographing quickly. If I'm at f1.5, 8 clicks will get me to f4 and 16 clicks will get me to f8. It's a small thing, but I've owned a few M-mount lenses that did not have that little click sound, so I've had to take the camera down from my eye to make sure I am where I want to be. I know this is a minor feature, but it is nice to have the right amount of resistance when turning from f-stop to the next f-stop. You know, there's a lot of things to love, but the last reason why you should buy this lens is that it is the right amount of compromise between the cheaper M-mount 50s and the more expensive M-mount 50s, like the Sumilux or the ridiculously expensive, f.95 M-mount. You will get some excellent images out of this lens, and it's also faster than the f2 lens. And to be fair, it is cheaper than Sumicron, and to my eyes, is just as good at rendering images. Now, you may get some more micro contrast in the Leica lenses, but I can guarantee you that you will be thrilled with this lens. The most straightforward analogy that I can even give you while comparing the multiple options of the 50mm focal length is like walking into Best Buy to buy a new TV. When you're looking at every television from the high-end $10,000, $20,000 televisions to their low-end $300 televisions, you can see the difference of how the televisions look. However, are you really going to spend $10,000 to get the best experience? Maybe you would, or would you rather get something about $1,000 that will also do the job? I will never forget what a salesman at Best Buy once told me. He said, yes, you're gonna walk into this store and see every difference between every television because you're looking all of them at the same time. Still, you know what the best television will be? The one that rests on your wall or television stand. And after a while, you won't even think about that $10,000 television because you will be perfectly happy with the television that you watch every day. The same can be said about lenses and photography. If you consistently want the best lens because you have a bunch of money to burn in your pocket, then by all means, buy the most expensive lens. But if you're like me and you want somewhere in the mid-range of televisions or the mid-range of lenses, then that is exactly where this Zeiss lens sits. The Sonnar will be a lens that you will thoroughly enjoy. This lens won't break the bank and you will be happy with its weight, size, and rendering that you get out of it. Now last, I want to leave you with this. And that is any video that you watch on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, or however you consume information about a particular lens or body, it is subjective. The best camera equipment is the one that you're photographing with consistently and creating images with. This lens won't make you a better photographer, but taking your camera out of your bag and shooting and creating with it will make you a better photographer. Working on your craft will always be better than worrying about gear. That's really all that I have for you guys today. I'm going to share you some images that I have with this. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to share these images with you, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Take care.